Hey, to all my female baggage droppers out there, I have a question for you. Do you like gold or silver? Well, at Brienne and Company Jewelry Store, you can find anything that you like. That's right. Brienne and Company is a jewelry boutique that has durable minimalist jewelry. She uses genuine pearls, local shells and sea glass, natural gemstones, and of course, precious metals. And these are all quality handcrafted designs by Brienne Light herself. Go and visit her at her website, brienneandco.com, or go to her Instagram that's always popping at Brienne and Company. Thanks, Brienne. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of my baggage droppers around the world, welcome to another episode of the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can give you hope, and teach you a technique that can help you cope. Today, we have an outstanding guest right here, and I know I say that all the time, but Augie T is a straight up G. But first, I want to ask all you guys, if you're on the Facebook or YouTube platform, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. And if you're on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and also give me some feedback. Now, Augie T right here is the man. He is a former award-winning comedian. He's been on multiple TV shows, commercials, and movies. However, in 2019, he pivoted to politics. Last November, he was elected to represent District 9 of the Honolulu City Council. He loves giving back to the community that has supported him so much throughout his career. You can also listen to Augie all the time on the radio at Shaka 96.7. And he is also, most importantly, a devoted husband and the father of 5 wonderful children. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Augie T. What's
Love
up,
it,
Augie?
dude. That had to be like the best introduction I've had in a long time. A lot of times, people they just go on Wikipedia and they just start, and I go, "Did I do all of that?" Like, that was straightforward to the point, perfect. Thank you so much for the introduction, Charles. I appreciate it, man.
Man, I appreciate you and your time. Thank you so much. And just Augie, for those out there who just don't know who you are, for the few people that don't know who you are, please tell us more about you besides what I told you, what I told them already.
Thank you so much for that question. Yeah, no, I grew up in Kalihi Valley, the foothills of Kalihi Valley on Oahu.
Mhm.
Oahu is, in case you watching this on the mainland or on some amazing continent. It's one of 7 islands in the Hawaiian chain. It happens to be with business and a lot of things. It's the 13th, believe it or not, largest city per capita. We don't live in grass shacks. We have a very thriving economy, and it's a big city. So I grew up in the foothills of Kalihi Valley. I grew up in low income housing. Um, I loved it there. I have 5 brothers. I am the second. I have a stepbrother that's older than me. I'm the oldest of 4 other brothers. My dad is originally from Maui.
Mhm.
My grandma and grandpa came from the Philippines in 1916.
Wow.
My mom is Portuguese, and her grandparents came from Portugal, a long, long time ago.
Wow.
And you know, I've lived here all my life. Like you said, I have 5 children. I've been with my beautiful wife Kim for almost 20 years now.
20 years. Hey,
Yeah,
shout out to
yeah,
Kim and you, man.
yeah,
That's a
man.
long
And
time. Good job.
yeah, and we live in Ever Beach right now. And like you said, I decided in 2019 to like really step outside the box and do something that was, yeah, so out of the box. I felt, my daughter, my hair, the youngest of the 5,
Mhm.
runs a nonprofit called Brave. Brave is an acronym to be respectful and value everyone. And she was bullied. So as we went around and did stuff in schools, and I worked for different um, public servants. Like I worked for the mayor on the Big Island for 2 years, Mayor Billy Kinoy. Then I worked with Lieutenant Governor Shan Setsui. I started like really getting interest in helping the community. You know, for almost 30 years, I look at life. I always look at comedy as like, you know, we're mirrors. We are reflections of society. We say the things that you like say, and we say it. We
Yeah.
say it because, you know, it was getting hard to do that because, you know, I grew up poor. But as I went around to different schools and, you know, different islands, I saw so much need. And I just thought, like, you know, maybe I can use my little influence that I have here in Hawaii as an entertainer to maybe try to make a difference. You know, and everybody was like, "Oh, you know, this, you know, you have name recognition. It's a lot easier, but everything you do is a double-edged sword." You know, and I got criticized. He's just a comedian. You know, he didn't go to college. You know, but I'm a student of life, just like you, Charles. You know what I mean? I've gone through so many challenging experience, and I've talked to so many different people. I've been in front of so many different kinds of audience, you know, and I just felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it, you know, despite all the criticisms. And probably one of the best things I've done. Someone told me that, you know, this job is only part-time, but I work every single day, and it's not the best pay. This is, in fact, this is the lowest paying job I've ever had the last 20 years. Like, this does not pay nothing. People criticize and they say, I go, you know what you should do? Instead of criticizing me on social media, you should go run for office. Go do it. In fact, run against me.
Yeah. Take my job, please.
Take my job.
Oh my gosh. So you were talking about how you came from humble beginnings and how you loved living in like that project housing, or, you know, that low income housing. Tell us, like, what did you love about it and what did you learn from it?
First off, you know, when I go to underprivileged areas here as a city councilman, in my mind, I'm going, how do I clean up the place? So I grew up poor, but because the people in my neighborhood took care of the area, never felt poor.
Yeah.
I realized I was poor later on as I got older in school, when I went, how come my coin looked different from everybody else's coin? we had the tokens, you know. And then, you know, then I discovered girls, and I was like, I cannot ask them to go out because I don't have any money. But you know, the people in my neighborhood, they took care of each other. Yeah, did I see the fights? Did I see some of the stupidity that went on? Yeah, I did. But like, it was a home. You know what I mean? And I try my best to find, you know, different public and private to come in and see what we can do, because most kids don't know. They, you know, and that's why it's disheartening, you know, when you see the homeless. When I was growing up, there's only one homeless in my neighborhood, and we all knew the guy. And now there's 200 of them.
Yeah.
And you know, how come this is getting worse when we're supposed to be making life and society better? And that's why, like, for me, it's been awesome, like, trying to find solutions. You know, I appreciate government, and you know, I grew up on government. I knew that government was giving me a hand up and not a handout. I think early on I understood that, and that, you know, this is only temporary. And if you work hard and you listen, you know, good things come to you. So, you know, I always tell people, like, you know, my older brother, career criminal. My brother below me was one of the first casualties of crystal meth in Hawaii, shot himself. We all lived in the same home. We all heard the same rules. We all had the same discipline, except we all decided what kind of route we was going to take. And, you know, for me, I was very blessed that I got into sports early. And I had teachers that looked me in the eye and told me they care about me. And that was even hard to even hear, because that's what you want from your parents. That's what you need, that love from your. Never got that, you know. It was just
Yeah.
kind of, you know. My dad was a pretty miserable guy. I love him to death, but you know, he was just not a happy guy. And you know, my mom just kind of went and did whatever my dad said. So you know, when teachers and mentors and coaches, you know, when they said things like "I believe in you," and if you work hard, it meant something to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I was lucky. You know, I yeah, no, I'm very blessed. I could have easily, you know, fall and taken the easy street, you know. And this doesn't mean that I'm a better person than you. It's just, you know, we make choices, and I'm thankful that I did that route. It was difficult, but I'm thankful now as an adult, you know, like I said, you know, in our earlier conversations, you know, like I've become more empathetic,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as I'm getting older, you know. So yeah, man, I when I say I enjoyed growing up in public housing, it didn't feel like public housing. It felt like one big family. Uh, and it felt like, you know, if you needed sugar, you just walk down, knock on the door. My mom don't have sugar, get some sugar. You know, you smell food. You know, you're hungry. You
Mm-hmm.
knock on the door. People, you know, they fed you, and
Yeah.
they also disciplined you too. That's the difference. Oh man, if I
Bruh.
screwed up, you know, yeah, so much different, dude.
You got liquor inside.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I got yelled at by the neighbor, then I got
Mm-hmm.
lickings from my dad because, you know, back then, you know, parents, you know, I don't know. I look at neighborhoods and I go, why don't we, you know, are we having like amazing conversations with each other? You know, I think we've with coronavirus, with COVID, and you know, with like fireworks, I think we've become a society that loves to like squeal. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not talking to our neighbors anymore. We're not cutting their grass. You know, instead, we're like, why are you parking my stall? Or, you know, we turning into each other instead of like, you know, how do we rally around as a community to make this strong instead of pointing fingers and 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 turning on each other. So anyway, that's
Nah.
just me.
But like people invested in you so much, and the difference between you and a lot of other people that lived in your circumstances and in my circumstances, I was also brought up in project housing, and like you said, it was fun to me. At one time I lived in an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment with 13 people. Bruh, like I'm talking, but I loved it though. Like having the family in such close proximity was amazing to me. You know what I mean? Being so close with all my cousins, it was outstanding.
Yeah,
And we might not have had it all, but we had all that we needed. You
that's
feel me?
right.
And like you said, as far as the community is concerned, everybody looked out for me. Like they used to call me Charlie. Everybody looked out for Charlie, and like all around the hood. And you know, like you said, if I messed up somewhere, I would definitely get a talking to. And
Yeah,
depending on how close they were to my family, I might get a spanking as well. And then got home and got another one. You feel me? So,
yeah,
I mean, so like that type of situation though, it also breeds a bit of that, a bit of distractions. You know, there's a devil at every level, and at that lowest level, I mean, it's strong down there. But
yeah.
what you did, and also what I did, is we listened to those teachers and we saw a bit of hope. But also, you said that you had coaches as well that like really invested into you. So sports was your way out to get away from your surroundings too.
Yeah, so I started boxing at around 11 years old, and that changed my life. It taught me a ton of discipline, and then I had a boxing coach that, you know, really invested and took the time to like work with me, and you know, he became like my second dad. And you know, I fought in the police activities league, and there are police officers that was encouraging, and so there are a lot of great mentors. You know, never see eye to eye on a lot of things, but I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I understood why they were there. I understood that, you know, if you went into the gym earlier than anybody else and you left last, that you would get ahead. And that's kind of, for me, was that I think my first trip to the mainland, boxing on the mainland, changed my life, because I realized like there's so much more than just, you know, this small island. You know, when I went to Los Angeles, I was like, oh my goodness, your life changed. And then, my coming back, my boxing coach said, you keep working hard, you can go farther and you can see things that you only see in books. And that's what happened for me. I just, you know, I won the Golden Gloves in Hawaii at 16, and I got to travel, man. I got to, you know what I mean? I got to see and feel things that most, 12, 13, 14-year-olds dream about, and I was lucky, Charlie. I was like, I'm a lucky guy, and you saw how, I saw how my dad's perception and like who I might be able to become changed, became very protective. Make sure you go to the gym, make sure you train hard.
Wow.
So it was awesome. It changed the whole demographics of like, that maybe somebody in our family get a chance to do something cool. And it's awesome. If you saw or watched any of my live DVDs, my dad and my mom came to every show. My mom and dad came to every fight. I think they only missed maybe 2 fights here and a couple on the mainland because they couldn't afford to go. But like, I understood my value.
Wow.
Yeah, I understood like, ooh, this might be a way out to help my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you hear the stories. It's, my story is not different like everybody else. It's just you realize like you could be the one that changes your family tree. Like I look back now in my family tree, I like know which grandparent messed up. Because I'm at that age where my friends' parents are dying and then inheriting all this money. Like, hey, what? He goes, yeah. I'm like, yeah, my grandpa died and left me. Like, so I go back and look at my family tree and I go, which one of these guys messed it up? So hopefully I can be that grandparent that did something cool so that, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren will look back and go, thanks, Grandpa Augie.
Yeah.
In the family tree.
Hey man, that's right. That's right. You producing fruit over here. You producing fruit on that tree. Hey, I love it. So like, all right. So you are this beacon of hope for your family. You know what I mean? Like you're the one that is supposed to make it out. You know what I mean? You got a shot. You got a shot. So then, all right. So 16, you win the Golden Gloves, and then what? Like you graduate.
Yeah, no. I discovered girls, and I made my girlfriend pregnant, and then it all stopped. Everything stopped. My dad was like, "I ain't taking care of your kid. You got to go work." And I was like, and mind you, my dad had, my mom was, so my son is 3 years younger than my youngest brother. My dad's Filipino and he'll keep going until he cannot. So he's like, I ain't taking care of your kid. That's your job. So that dreams of, and, I got a scholarship to go box in Michigan. That all stopped because my dad was like, dude, you got to go work. So I started working at Jack in the Box. And then I realized this little money that I'm making is not going to be enough to, one, take in my son, who I felt like needed to carry my name, because at that time, my girlfriend could have easily got on welfare and the baby would carry her name and, and I just felt like, nah, because that's the same route that's that same route. Luckily, I'm ambitious. So I kind of looked in the newspaper, and I saw food service worker, Kapiolani Medical Center. And, one of the things they did in high school was they taught you how to apply for jobs, and, they taught you how to dress, how to, be ambitious when you go and apply for a job. And because I boxed all through the summer, I went, during school time, I did summer school. So I got my credit. So I was able to leave half day, my junior and my senior year. So I went to Kapiolani Medical Center, which is now in the Pacific Health, one of the largest institutions, in Hawaii as far as medical. And I went there, and I demanded that I get hired.
Now
I was 16 years old. I told the director of food service that I have 6 months food service working at Jack in a Box. I need this job because my girlfriend is pregnant, and I will be here every day at 1:00 because I finished school at 12. And she basically said, if you miss one day, or you call in sick during your probation, I'm going to let you go.
Dang.
And I was there for 16 years. I worked at the medical center for 16 years. Yeah, man. I bought my first home when I was like 22 because I was able to, get credit.
What?
I was making more than my dad.
I know, right? It's like nobody from where you were from ain't have no credit, bro. Like you already made it out. There you go.
I was like 20. I was like, yo, you qualify for a loan to buy a home out in Waianae. And I was like, wow, awesome. How much is the rent? I was like, is your mortgage? Like this. I was like, I can't afford that. The medical center gave me an opportunity to learn and grow. And I was there for almost 16 years. And,
wow.
And then, one day I was like, I'm not happy. Maybe a little selfish at that time, but like I knew that this wasn't it.
Yeah.
Catching the boss every day, great job. I would have probably been, if I stayed, I probably would have been there almost 40 years now. Maybe, most 50 years I would have been at Kapiolani Medical Center, and I would have had a nice retirement, but I followed my heart.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to do something that I love doing. And, I knew my boxing career was over. So I I fought as a professional. So while I worked at the hospital at 18, I turned professional because I needed that extra money.
Right.
And I had like 6 professional fights. And then I discovered comedy on a dare. And that was it. I had the bug. I'm gonna be a comedian.
Yeah.
And
so comedians are entrepreneurs as well, and you already had ambition. So like with being a comedian and like working that craft and the hustle that you already had, was it something that you just obviously it was something that fueled you, or like tell us about your career.
Yeah, no, I saw a guy who's an icon in Hawaii do comedy when I was in the 4th grade. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to make people laugh. I've been always that guy, that kid that, was goofy, that could impersonate other people. And if you're Filipino at any party, if you had a talent, you had to, showcase your talent. So my dad would be like, hey, tell some jokes. And I would do impersonations of, Howard Cosell, Muhammad Ali, guys that I grew up watching, Bill Cosby. I was just I do local entertainers. I could impersonate a lot of local comics. So there's always that hidden desire to perform. And, like I said, with teachers and mentors. A teacher in the 8th grade realized that, challenged me to do a speech contest because I was flunking English, and Miss Murakami took time out to help me in this process. And I remember, like, preparing because I wanted to perform, but I was nervous because only the nerdy kids do the speech contest, right? So I tell this story to young kids, but in the 8th grade, Miss Murakami challenged me because she said, I know you're a performer. You love to make people laugh. You love to talk, but you flunk in my class. So in order for get your grade up, you got to enter this speech contest. And I was like, speech contest? No, nerds do speech contests. But she took the time out, and she would spend time with me after school, help me go through this process. So I was confident already with boxing. I knew, like, hey, if I work hard, whether or not I win or lose, I won already because, I'm going through the process. And I remember 8th grade, man, walking in the back of the auditorium, and then all these nerdy kids looking at me. And I was like, you let me punch your face now or after? Because they was already judging. I was being bullied by all the nerdy kids, right, Charles? His kids are looking at me like, but I had something to prove. I was thinking that in my head, but like, you guys don't realize that I'm ready and I'm just gonna blow all you guys away. And then I open the curtain opens, and now we're in front of 700 students, and my friends in my neighborhood is all in the back going, get off the stage. You get busted because I was that guy that would go on stage just to be the joke of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, that's supposed to be. I was like, man, I cannot win with the guys on stage, and I cannot win with my friends outside of the stage. And I just remember, when the MC said, doing humorous interpretation, Augie Toba, I just heard the biggest roar in the back, because that's when I knew that if you step outside the box and you do something that's so out of the ordinary, people either gonna be envious or they're gonna be like, yeah, he's represent Augs, you know what I mean? And then win, right? Win. Yeah, I remember walking home with my trophy, Charles. Everybody wanted to touch him. I was like, no, this is mine. I remember coming home, and my dad was like, where you stole that from? I was like, I was stealing this. Dad, I won the speech contest. But that was it. That was the fuel. That was the little fire that Miss Murakami sparked, that said, maybe I might be good at talking in front of an audience, telling jokes, so I was working at the hospital, went to a comedy club in Waikiki weekly just to go to build this courage to go put your name on an open mic. And then I went, I signed up, I did a Doodle Joke, talked about, if you guys want to hear it, I talked about the first time I drank milk. I can't drink milk, and made me, so I pooped in my pants. I was like, probably like 3rd grade, pooped in my pants, and I was like, I grabbed my underwears and I tried to flush it, because, I was like scared.
Yeah.
I told this story. I was scared. So when you flush something and then the water started creeping back out because it won't go. And then I started really anxiety, panicking, because I saw this water started, and then that's when the recess bell rang, and then all the kids from, ugh, there's water. And of course, I'm going, who did that? I was like, I don't know who did that. I have no idea who did that. And then the custodian come run. It's a true story. Custodian come running in. He has this industrial pump, and he goes, "Move, kids." This is where if you watch movies where everything slow down, it's like they took this industrial stuff and then wah, and I looked down and I could see my underwear like floating to the top. I was like, ah, ah. Then he put on his gloves. Then he reached in and grabbed my underwears. And this is what happens when you're the oldest of 5 boys. Your mom put your name on the underwear and everybody saw Augie. And I became Doodle Boy from 3rd grade on. Even when I graduated from Farrington High School, if anybody got a videotape, you could hear like when, Augie Toba, my boys was in the back going, Doodle Boy. And I was like, I could never get away. So I told that story.
Yeah.
And the Jewish owner at that time was like, I don't know what you're saying, because he's from the mainland and I was doing it in, pidgin.
Yeah.
I was just talking like on broad. I was like, it's like I was telling my story. I don't know what you said, but you made people laugh. Come back. I'm gonna give you $25. Come back. And I went back every Friday, Saturday. And I always tell kids, if you have a passion and you believe, the universe hears you. Like within 6 weeks, I started meeting all the guys I was listening to when I was growing up. Bumatai, all the main comics. I met George Wallace, who I still have his card, so inside my card. I met like all these guys that I saw like on Johnny Carson because they would come to the comedy club.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I never turned back. Never turned back after that. I was like, and comedy became a business, and I still work because, again, being scared of where the money gonna come from. So I always had a job, Charles, and because I worried about my family. So there's a side of me. Oh my gosh, I love it because there's a side of me that's always playing it safe, even though I've been very successful.
Yeah, it's you playing it safe, but you taking risks before. You know what I mean? I probably taking plenty of risks with your career. I mean, heck, you took a risk by going out there and putting yourself into politics. I mean, that's a huge risk. But it's probably all calculated risks, huh?
Yeah, like I still need a job. Like that's so weird that it's taking up. So you guys know, I'm a city councilman, but I still do marketing for a company called Sweep Strategies. I do marketing for Champ Sports Bar and Restaurant. I also do radio, and I'm still chasing the money because I'm worried that one day it'll all stop.
Yeah.
Like even when I knew, like, maybe, just maybe, if I went all out, full blast, tunnel vision, sometimes, and I heard this a lot. Wow. When your back is against the wall, right? When your back is up against the wall, you respond 2 ways, right? Give up or you move forward. And I think I've always had a crutch. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I gave it my all, but I also knew, like, I have a job. Right? So, it's so weird. All right now. Yeah.
So like, I mean, but look where we came from. That's been that's one of the biggest things that I've had to go through is I've had to release all these limiting beliefs that I had as a kid about money, that there's never going to be enough. My mom used to say that money was hard to come and easy to go. That set me up to work as hard as I can for the rest of my life, yo.
It's like, what?
Or money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
Right? Money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
All of these different little beliefs that were instilled into my mindset. And it's like I've had to get rid of each and every single one. And it's a process, but it's worth it, because then you see like how abundant that you are, and you believe in the creator. The creator has made more than enough abundance for all of us. I mean, look at you talking about trees, like the family tree, like it's about being fruitful. And if you plant those seeds, if you sow those seeds, then you will end up being fruitful. But then that's the thing. Even if you get a small amount of fruit and you don't get a huge harvest, guess what those fruit give you? More seeds. You
Right.
see, like, man, you are nothing but prosperity, bro. And because of the wonderful energy that you have and that you've been released into the universe, you're always gonna be that way.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
you got the
Yeah, dude. It's like it's that you're right. Is you can never be satisfied with what you have,
Mm.
right? Because you always had this belief that this is your limit.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it. Watch out for it,
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Or like there was this thing, those people are rich. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of guys that look like me, or guys like me don't get rich. You feel me? Like stuff like
yeah,
that, or the guys like me don't become wealthy. Like
right.
those things have stifled my career at times. And we're becoming from being an educator, right? A teacher that
Wow.
right always got my check on the 1st and the 15th, right? On time, on schedule, direct deposit right into the bank. So from going to that to then not knowing where my next client was going to come from,
Wow.
that produces a lot of fear. You know what I mean? And now with you changing careers, doing something that you've always done and that you've known for a long time now, I see, man, it only makes sense for that old programming to go, wait a second,
Yeah.
Augie, like chill out, like you're not one of those type of people that did this or did that and prepare for this moment. You might want to still prepare, you might want to still rack up those
Yeah.
that
No,
money.
I heard it. Did I heard it? I heard it all through my career. You're too local.
Mm,
What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like you can't relate to anybody else. And what does that mean?
yeah.
And I used to get so angry and so mad. Like, yeah, that's you build layers of really either compromise or reasons, yeah, that stop you from like, and when you mess up, it's easy to blame them because, or you believe uh in the fib that they just told you.
Mm-hmm.
That's their insecurity. It's so weird that we're talking about this.
it's, it's real talk. It's the Drop Your Baggage podcast, dog.
Right. It's so weird, but like it's stuff that every business guy or that you hear it and you go, sometimes all it takes is talking, and and that's why like I believe in coaching. I believe in because you never stop learning. That's why like I've been excited to hang out with you for the last couple of days after hearing you're saying, and your energy, you I believe people are connected, because it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
I totally believe that. You know what I mean? Like you attract the people with whatever you putting out, So yeah, no, I'm very, very appreciative that we even having this conversation tonight.
Hey man.
When you're around city council and you dealing with people's money, that place can be negative real quick.
Yeah.
It's easy to look back at your own checkbook and go, why am I doing this? Right? And easy to compromise, easy to start saying, how do I find bigger and better?
Mm-hmm.
When it's right there already. You have it. It's just perspective.
100%. So like let's back up, man. So you said that you would go to these areas that were, lower social class areas, and you would do comedy or you do motivational speeches, and that started to build this urge inside of you to do, to be a public servant. So
Mm.
like let's just, man, let's hear about it, bro. I want to know, in 2019 you finally just said,
Yeah,
boom, it's
yeah.
time.
Had a conversation with the wife. You know, I was around, I think, great politicians in Hawaii that loved people, uh, that helped inspire me to um, do what I did. And then having a very over ambition, over ambitious child who like changed the world, and a wife that supportive. We don't always see eye to eye on things, and we have the typical marriage where like I come home and she's looking at me like, why are you here? But at the end of the day, she's gonna support, and she knows that if you're passionate and you think you can do this, then go do it, right? And
Man.
I think, man, there's so much validation that happened, and I learned a lot about myself too. Um, I knew that people are gonna look back at my career and pick up things that maybe they might use against me, not even asking me where my heart was at the time of doing it. I knew that I was gonna get criticism. I knew, and I said, look, I'm not scrubbing anything. Don't scrub my social media. That I never went on stage with a malicious heart. Everything was uh, done because out of entertainment, comedy, and fun, and I have nothing to be ashamed of. I never swear on stage. Never. You never ever saw me walking out of places drunk. So I was like, I'm not perfect, but I know like my heart, was never in a bad place where like I'm gonna hurt and offend people. It was scary. You know, um, we never had the kind of money that my opponent had. Mind you, my opponent was my senator for almost 20 years. I never saw one flyer in the 20 years come to my house showing me all the things that he's done. And all of a sudden, he has a flyer every week. And he thought, it's a mail in election. Maybe I can beat this guy in the mailbox because he has no experience. And so I had to hustle. And I'm a competitor. I'm a fighter. Like, there's a side of me like, hey, I'm determined to win. I'm not gonna half-ass it. I knocked on doors and I was worried because I was told, that community up in Mililani, that's a tough neighborhood. Mostly Asian and white and you know, uh, educated. And so it was. I had to deal with all of that, and I always look at them and I'm like, hey, this is the same guys that came to my shows the last 20 something years. I knocked on the doors, and I remember this one older white gentleman came out and said, "Hey, I'm voting for you." And this is really early on, like maybe the second week of um, campaigning, and I said, "Why are you voting me? Why are you voting for me, sir?" And he said, "I watched your career maybe like for 15 years, and I've seen your heart, and I know that you're not gonna um you're not gonna mess that up between you and I." Man,
Bruh.
dude, that you talk about lighting on fire, you know.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I was just kind of knocking on everybody's door. That fear went away because just somebody said something that for a long time as a comic, first off, every comic is insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Every comic is mostly we're narcissistic. That's why we love being on stage. Um, and for me, it gave me some validation that maybe I might have done something correct.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that because I would hear stories throughout the years, like My family came, I saw you, my mom had cancer, and for that night, you took all that hurt away because you're funny. I had tons. I talked about my gay sons, and I had guys come up to me and go, "Man, I almost killed my son. I wanted to kill my son, but because I saw your act, I went, wow, this guy can love his kids." And those kind of things that I take heart in, because I was challenged by all of that. And it did challenge my character, because I never grew up that way. You know what I mean? And it taught me, my kids taught me how to love unconditionally, without judgment and without, so uh running and talking to people really help help me understand me, and that I'm not perfect. I need to rely on people. I need to listen. And people are looking for a leader, but I think more than anything is, are you compassionate enough to say you're sorry when you're wrong?
Wow.
You know what I
Oh,
mean? It's tough. You
bruh.
know what I mean?
That is huge right there. If we got more of that from government, instead of this persona where we all have to be perfect and
Yeah.
never be able to like say, hey, you know what? I'm human. I made a mistake. I was wrong and I'm grown now. I've grown as a
Yeah.
person. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like if we got more of that, a lot more trust would go into
Yeah.
and government,
And
also a lot more progress would be made.
yeah, and I think so I've learned so much, in the 9 months
Mhm.
being a elected official. Get days where I wake up and go, why did I do this? Can I just go back to comedy? Uh, wait a minute. My staff makes more money than me. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I get those thoughts, and then you get an email, or you say something that resonate with somebody, and you get, hey, thank you so much for speaking up. So for me, it's so important for me to protect my heart, and that's
Yeah.
why we were talking off there. Like, just I get depressed sometimes
Yeah.
because you know I care about people, and it's tough. It's tough. So I go, do I play politics? Because it's easy, guys. Believe me, to just rubber stamp and go in, play politics every day, and just go along with the status quo. It's so easy to do that. But like, man, in the meantime, our parks suffer. You know, we see the homelessness. We cannot afford to live here anymore. And we just sit around and not say anything, or continue to let things go. No, I think we stand up, we say what we have to say, and hopefully we elect people who care about what you concern about and what you care about. And I think, as I'm learning I've been 9 months. I went from budgeting my home balance to budgeting a $3.5 billion budget.
God, quite a bro. That's a jump.
I know he lied. I go, what? I cannot buy ding dongs this week. You know what I mean? I can't get no ding dongs this week. No. It's like, why are we spending money on here? What is this? Why is $10 million going there?
Right.
That's too much ding dongs. That person should not have ding dongs.
Wow.
Cut
You
down.
you're seeing the back. You're seeing the receipts.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
the itemized version. Ooh.
dude. If my whole thing is like, I'm all for good construction.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm a fiscal conservative because I worried about money.
Mhm.
You know, I think I'm more of a libertarian. I want less government. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? I want more, choice. So, you know, and the nice thing about city council is, it's not, you don't have to be a part of a party. It's about people,
Yes.
rolling up your sleeve and getting to work and, making sure that the rubbish is picked up on time, make sure the water is flowing, make sure that, the police is doing their job. We have EMS, the fire department. And that's the kind of stuff that I get excited about. And when I cannot get those services and we cannot get our parks clean, then I'm going to go, maybe you got too much ding dongs in that department. Because if I can't get ding dongs, you're not gonna get any ding dongs. And that's because once in a while, man, I want ho-hos too. I want ho-hos. I can't get it.
You're walking the path that's like, what do they call it? The path that's less walked. You know what I mean? It's that path that not a whole lot of people go on, man. You're going on a way that is filled with integrity, like we were talking about earlier. That's filled with the passion for where it needs to be at, which is with the people. And you want that sense. It seems like from what I see, you want that sense of home, just like
Yeah,
you had back in the day. You want that sense of home.
I think everybody wants that.
Amen.
I think everybody want to have great dinners and great conversation and live in a neighborhood that's safe and hope and pray that we have a government that thinks about people first.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think we relate more to a lot of everyday things instead of like looking at things political,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I totally, I mean, and there's so many things that we all can come together on. What I admire a lot right now are the different strikes that are happening. And it's like people from all sides, from right wing to left wing are coming together to do what they feel is right for themselves and for generations to come within a company. Like I love that we all coming together and seeing, like, we may have our differences, but we can, if we just take care of one another, because that's all we got here on
yeah,
this earth is one another. We can take care of one another. We can come together and we can do the right things.
I think COVID exposed a lot of things that we already knew,
Hmm.
that government not perfect. I think we already knew that, right? Just COVID was the guy that lifted up the rock, and we
Yeah.
knew a lot of roaches under the rock, eating ding dongs and ho hos, and that's all it. So I look at COVID like, wow, what a great time to learn and change
Hmm.
and listen to each other. Instead of
Hmm.
like, I have all the answers. Nah, you know, um, gotta have that conversation. That's just being respectful. That's also hard with agreeing to disagree.
Yeah.
Right? It's got to be so mean and hurtful when it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe we were put on this earth for beef, but like I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't like the feeling when you're being confronted. I don't like the feeling when I gotta talk to somebody in a mean way. I hate that feeling. So you know, uh, I love the fact that we are having hard conversations. I love the fact that we seeing people come out
Hmm.
that normally would not, and maybe I'm very hopeful that, out of all the strife and challenges, good people come out because at the end of the day, uh, we want to live in a better place, a better society, society that treats everybody. And I know that's, almost hard to believe, but like, I think if we start thinking that way
Hmm.
and be more optimist, be more, having being people that's very optimistic. Yeah, one, your life is so much better when you like, man, I'm ready to take on this crazy day, but I'm gonna try to stay positive. I'm gonna try to give me my ding dong and try to be happy.
Hey, that had to be a big price tag on those ding dongs, right? Those ho hos. It had to be a big.
Oh, wait a minute. Ah, I was on the store with my wife because my wife like going to Walmart, and Walmart is the cheapest place right now, right? I'm like, hose.
So crazy. I love it. Hey, what's up to all my baggage droppers out there? Look, do you want to be more productive, have more clarity, have more focus, and have more determination than ever? Or do you want to be more powerful, really believing and conceiving your dreams so you can go out and take action and achieve your highest goals? Or do you want to have more peace, getting rid of those triggers of anger so you can have more self-control, or moving from fear to limitless power, or letting go of sadness so that happiness and gratitude can shine through you? Well, join the Drop Your Baggage Challenge and experience years of personal development, years of therapy, and have multiple breakthroughs instantaneously. Go to dropyourbaggagechallenge.com and join today. Don't wrestle with those negative voices in your head anymore. Join the Drop Your Baggage Challenge and silence those voices and totally shift your life forever. Go to dropyourbaggagechallenge.com today and totally experience a transformation in your life that you could have never even imagined. Are you up for the challenge? I know you are. Go to dropyourbaggagechallenge.com and join, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace. Hey, so on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, we talk to people that are dope, that can give you hope and teach you a technique that can help you cope. Now, I am a trainer of Neuro Linguistic Programming. Now, Neuro Linguistic Programming is a mental martial art. You know what I mean? Now, just like with boxing, you got your jab, you got your hook, you got your uppercut. So with Neuro Linguistic Programming and this mental martial art, it's a group of techniques that help you shift your mindset and get you into a certain state. So if you ever listen to a motivational speech, that can be a form of neurolinguistic programming. If you ever had affirmations like, I can do this, that's neurolinguistic programming. If you ever played a nice song, a great song to get you, up and going and get you excited, that's neurolinguistic programming. So on this show, we do a certain technique that I love called mental and emotional release. And what it is, it's a guided meditation that helps you eliminate your negative emotions, limiting beliefs, fears, and insecurities. Now, for anybody out there in the audience that would love to do this, please go to a practitioner of neurolinguistic programming, or you can always contact me. Go to my website, charleswoolfork.com. Now, today, we've been talking about all these different things, man. And, it all came down to you being hurt and disappointed. You know what I mean? Like, just tell us about some of the things that just are confusing you and just giving you all these different emotions.
Well, we talked a little bit about how I feel like there's never enough, right?
Yeah.
And worried about finance when I got a good job, but that worry of not having enough.
Yeah.
It's always there. It's always been there.
Gives you anxiety?
Oh, a lot of anxiety. It's at times it's difficult to sleep at night when taxes is coming. You gotta pay taxes, and I hate going to the mailbox sometimes because there's gonna be. And I remember like hearing it from my mom and dad, and I'm like turning into them. So weird, like how those little things, a phone call, even when swiping your card, you still worry about that, believe it or not.
Right.
So
that's like those small things every single day.
Yeah. It's the most craziest thing. And I think it drives my wife nuts. I'm constantly worried about that. So.
Oh, for sure. That's a big one. I'd love to, let's get rid of that limiting belief then that there's never enough. That one specifically. So hurt and disappointment goes out the window. There's never enough. We're going to get rid of that limiting belief today. That fear today. because I see it's messing with you, bruh. Let's get that off your chest so you could just be happier. Like, how would you feel if you didn't think that thought anymore?
Oh gosh, not worrying about where the next dollar or the next gig, or where I can just focus on like doing what I love doing, like daily, and
Mm-hmm.
not worry about, 2 weeks from now the next paycheck. And so when I fight for people and I go, 42% of people in Hawaii live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm passionate about doing that because I know how that feels.
Yeah.
Even when you got to take care of your family and you got to send them to school and you got to do all these things, that catches up on you no matter where you're at in life, no matter how successful you are. You know what I mean? So that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
I got you. I got you. Let's get it. All right. So with this, all it is a simple systematic guided meditation. I do the talking, you do the walking. All right. So all you got to do are three things. You got to do three things. Number one, you got to use your imagination.
Okay.
Number two, you got to follow directions just like you follow a recipe or Google Maps.
Got it.
And number three, you got to trust the process. Know that I'm your guide. And I'm going to be leading you through this easily and effortlessly.
Awesome.
Let's get it. Okay. Also, we're going to create an imaginary timeline. So with your timeline, your past can be to your left, to your right, or behind you. So if you were to know, where's your past?
Behind me.
Where's your future?
In front of me.
Darn right it is. Let's get it. All right. So with this being a guided meditation, all you got to do is close your eyes. Oh, wait a second. Let's get back. Now, is it all right with your I'm excited. Is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this limiting belief that there's not there's not enough, or there's never enough? Which one is it?
Let
me write it down.
There's never enough.
There's never enough. Sorry about that. Never.
Yeah.
What is it? Which one?
Oh, right. I think it's like, when you always worried on how or where the next thing is coming.
Yeah. We just said it. There's never enough. Yeah. I got you. So there's never enough. So is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this limiting belief that there's never enough today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Absolutely.
Awesome. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected, that will cause this problem to disappear. If you were to know, when was the first time that you felt as though there's never enough? When you were just a little kid?
Wow. Specifically, when I first saw my dad whip out $100 bill. I went, wow, that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, we get to eat. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like everybody was happy. The whole house was happy. Dad was happy. Yeah, just that I remember the joy in the living room, and because we never had much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was like a very vivid memory of, I've had a lot of accomplishments, but like if you talk about like the first time, maybe.
Yeah. So it's like before that though, there was like an anxiety, and how did that feel before it?
Dude, anxiety. I was wondering, like, why are you drinking so much when we don't have money?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like those lot of that, a lot of looking in the icebox, a lot of looking in the cupboard. What's going on?
That's the one. Those are the ones where you don't have anything. You don't have enough at all. I want you to go back to one of those memories.
It's easy.
Okay. All right. Let's get it. Okay. So with this being a guided meditation, all you gotta do is close your eyes, relax, and let me know when you're ready for the process to drop your baggage.
Ready.
Awesome. Now, just keep your eyes closed until I ask you to open them later on. But right now, just imagine floating outside of your body as if though you were a spirit or energy. And just see yourself right here, right now, from a third person point of view. Just hover above yourself, looking at yourself like a fly on the wall. See all your daughter's things, the screen in front of you, the fan above you. Think to yourself, what color is the floor, right? Let me know when you can see yourself.
I'm having a hard time, Charles.
Okay, no worries, man. You got an amazing imagination, don't you? So just imagine floating outside of your body, right here, right now, just right here. See the green walls. See the file cabinets to your right. Just see yourself, glasses on, screen in front of you. Let me know when you can see yourself right here, right now.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past, above that first event in which you felt as though there's never enough. When you were just a little kid and everything was gone. And just float above that little kid. Hover above him. Be the observer of the event, like a fly on the wall. Let me know when you can see that little kid.
Let's see him.
All right. Now stay right there. Just be the observer, like a fly on the wall. Just be the observer of the event. Now, just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event. The learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. This is an exercise of forgiveness and acceptance. Forgiveness for yourself and others, and acceptance of yourself and others. Who do you have to forgive? What do you have to accept? Who do you have to accept? This exercise works best when you display compassion and empathy for yourself and others. Focus your attention upon how you're a survivor. Hurt people hurt people. We're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have. We can't control anyone else's actions, but we can control our response. We can grow stronger and wiser and learn from people's actions and mistakes. Other people's actions have nothing to do with you. It's only a reflection of their baggage or whatever they're going through at the time. And we're better people than we were when those events occurred. You're a better person than you were when those events occurred. What is something positive and empowering you can tell that little boy and your dad and your mom and everyone else involved in the event with the consciousness that you have today that will allow the emotions to evaporate like water on the concrete on a hot summer day? And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone. Keep up the good work, Augie. You're doing great. What does that little kid need to know? What does your mom need to know? What does your dad need to know? Who do you have to forgive? Who do you have to accept? What do you have to accept? Also, tell everyone how amazing your life is now. Tell everyone how much you've achieved. Make sure you tell that kid that you've never gone without. That the hard work that you've done, and that because of the blessing that you are, that you've always had more than enough. Make sure you accept your dad's faults. You forgive him for his faults. And to thank him for all the support that you've gotten from him as well. He may have been hurting on the inside. He may not have known how to express his hurt. But one big thing was he always believed in you. Even in those tough times, you guys made a way. Make sure to thank the Creator for always looking over you. Always being a blessing. That you can do all things through the Creator. You gotta talk to me a little bit. Tell me how you doing.
I'm doing good, man. Amazing how like I can see, myself in front of the ice box, lights, looking in the ice box, not having anything, and seeing my mom and my dad, and then telling myself that you're gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hugging myself.
Mm-hmm. What'd you tell your dad?
Yeah, I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I forgive him for nights of making me scared.
Mm-hmm.
My mom for not speaking up.
Mm-hmm.
But I see myself hugging myself, and I see my little self.
Mm-hmm. Do you still feel those old emotions?
No, actually, it feels calm right now.
Awesome.
Feels it's a lot of hugging. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So it's about to get better.
Okay.
Now, keep your eyes closed. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past above the dinosaurs during the prehistoric age. Let me know when you're above the dinosaurs.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as you're above the dinosaurs, just imagine floating deeper and deeper and deeper into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. And imagine your timeline is the size of a fingernail. Let me know when you're there.
Okay.
All right. Now just imagine floating right there, weightless, in space. And ask yourself now, where are the emotions? Tell me, are they gone or are they there or have they disappeared? Now.
Nothing.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating down inside that first event, looking through your own eyes as a little kid and check on the emotions. Tell me, are they there or have they disappeared? Now.
There's nothing.
Awesome. Float back above the dinosaurs and then float into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. Let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
All right. Listen closely. Okay. Here we go. Float very, very high above your timeline, above each and every event in which you felt as though there's never enough, from birth until now in chronological order. Don't skip one event that has a charge on it. Preserve the learnings and let go of that limiting belief that there's never enough, all the way back to now. Go.
Gone.
Awesome. Flow down into your body and open your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back.
That was heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Heavy. And it's so much layers, you know.
Yeah. How do you feel?
You're good, you know. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find how I felt a couple of days ago. So one of my last events was it took a 10 months of parking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait. It's 10 months of parking. You know, that's a lot of, you know, you paying a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
10 months. I'm like, and I'm trying to find because that's the last emotion I felt like, oh, where I gotta find this thing, how I gotta go find them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
How do you feel now about it?
yeah. No, even like, yeah,
How do you feel about it?
I don't. There's nothing there. It's actually kind of weird to explain. You know, in those you know, I lost my radio job. Like I said, you know, the damn I ran for office, and I was like I started panicking. And there's nothing, nothing.
Yeah. You're looking for it, aren't you?
Trying, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, because there's a lot of noise in my head. So like, you know, just taking me back and like float. I was just having, I was having in the beginning, it's a hard time, you know, just getting up and looking down and
Mm-hmm.
just picturing even my purple shirt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was wrestling with that, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, think about maybe the second time we were talking about my, you know, telling myself, "You'll be okay." I think maybe the third time. I don't know how many times we went there, but like I think the third time I was like, I felt, it felt like I connected with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On a deep level.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like it was. Yeah, I felt the emotion
Mm-hmm.
more than anything else. Like I could feel how scared I was, and at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, I also could feel like, dude, you're gonna be good. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Is it like a sense, like a sense of safety?
yeah, 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 yeah. I think when I smiled back, you know,
Yeah.
8-year-old boy smiling back to myself was very refreshing in what I saw
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah.
I think with my dad many times it was more for me. I think connecting with me.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is still around, and I can always tell my mom I love her and everything's cool. I did that with my dad when he passed away. You know, but with me, not enough of that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Not enough of like, dude, you'll be okay. Like I don't say that enough. Oh, worry bean, man. I'm trying to find him. I'm trying like where's this worry bean at? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone. All right. So I got a test. I got a test. Okay. So
Right.
can you smell bacon?
Can I smell bacon?
Yeah.
No, no.
Okay. I asked that question to get your mind off of the meditation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So can you remember a time in the past in which you used to feel that old emotion and go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find that you cannot?
Okay. Yeah. I've been trying the last 10 minutes, bro.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I want you to go out into the future
Okay.
to an unspecified time in the future, in which, if the same thing would have happened in the past, you would have felt as though there's never enough. And see, but it's the future now. So see if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot.
I'm trying to find a situation.
Yeah.
Cannot. That would make me panic.
What about swiping the card or a different?
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm not even thinking about that. I think my biggest thing is that my taxes, but yeah, no, it's awesome.
Like, I know it's like you said, it's hard to describe, but some people out here in the audience, they never went through this before. So like, kind of like tell them the feeling, the just like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wish I was laying down. I probably would have gone. I would have probably went someplace else. You'd have been like, come back, man. Stop hanging out with the dinosaurs. You know?
yeah.
Yeah, because I love uh listening to meditation, and so yeah, and I have so much noise in the head, so it was kind of cool to just yeah to see myself in front of that ice box.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. No, it's awesome, dude. Because I'm trying, I'm trying to like find something. Yeah, no.
Hmm.
I'll probably will sleep a lot better tonight. Oh, this is awesome. Thank you, man.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Appreciate it, man. Wow.
Yeah. Like, do you feel peaceful? A lot of people say they feel peaceful.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. You know, uh, getting there for me has always been challenging to I could do it laying down. This is challenging, but when I went there was and seeing those things, and like now, even now, being at peace, being oh yeah, there is a sense of peace right now for me, honestly.
mhm, mhm. Man, Augie, I gotta say, like, bro, you were telling story after story before this meditation. Now it seems like you're speechless, dog.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm done. They can, yeah, I'm done. There's no stories, Charles. There's no stories.
Yeah, yeah. So the negative. So I asked you before we went through this process. The net, like when all those voices are just silenced, you're gonna have a like. It'll be a lot better for yourself as far as you being able to focus more on what's important, your marriage, and just
Yeah,
you being at
yeah,
peace.
yeah. I think I got a little emotional, maybe like the third or fourth time. I can't even tell you, when I think it's maybe the third time where he asked to tell a little boy, you know, everything will be okay.
Hmm.
Oh, felt good. Yeah, man, felt good.
Hmm.
It's so weird because I was with my staff today, and they're looking at my old pictures, and so I saw a lot of that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then even like the third time, like you know, and even like that, like you say, like we were poor, but like there are so much good things, right? Like
Hmm.
this happiness, and almost worry, like carefree, like You know, no, not even spam. We're looking at like, shucks, no nothing. But like, not knowing that all those little things added up, all this, you don't want to ever be poor. You don't want to ever have nothing in your icebox, and how, like, I cannot afford that. Like, it just triggers. So I gotta trust in myself more. I gotta forgive myself more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that enough. Yeah, man.
Wow, man. The so just I'm speechless too, bro.
Oh, dude, this is awesome, dude. Like, yeah, no, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I was just so tormented today by a lot of things, and yeah, So
Yeah.
how do I stay focused? Because it's easy, I think, for me to be easily distracted.
Mm-hmm.
What are your tips?
The tips on staying focused off
Yeah.
of like there's never enough.
Yeah. Well, I think it's can easily creep up again, or I don't know. I don't know. I like where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about this process is
Yeah.
this lasts forever.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So you won't go back to your old mindset. No
Okay.
worries. That's awesome. You've totally shifted your perspective upon the
Yeah.
things in the past, and it lasts forever.
Awesome.
And as far as the and as far as staying focused,
Yeah.
I would say it's more about changing your identity. It's like, what does someone that's focused do? What do they do? What habits do they have? What mindset do they have? What do I look like as I am focused? There's a technique that I have. It's called a swish pattern. And in a
Okay.
swish pattern, what you do is you change the picture that you have in your mind from the old picture of what you used to do in that old identity to the new picture. I'm going to do that with you. I'm going to show you how to do it I'm going to show you how to do it on your own easily.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. So,
It's awesome, man.
but changing that identity, changing your habits. Once you change your habits, you change everything about yourself.
Oh, well, guys, I get I hope whoever's watching this uh, do whatever you can to get a hold of Charles, and and it's nothing like learning and experiencing um, new ways of changing who you are as a person, and so if you're watching this, just do it. I cannot look. I'm not an easy sell.
Yeah.
You guys know, I made my career on selling stuff that I believe in. I did that once where I just kind of sold out and it doesn't work. So I'm just gonna let you guys know that I don't sell anything that I don't believe in. So this was very, very I cannot explain to you guys that anxiety I was feeling, even like as I'm talking and you guys heard me tell my stories. There's things that I'm thinking about tomorrow that I gotta go deal with. I'm not even thinking about it. That's why I said to Charles, like, am I gonna sleep good tonight? Because I have a hard time sleeping. So like I like where I'm at right now, people.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take a shower. I take a shower, and I might pass out tonight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I'm
Mhm.
not thinking about. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. There's no more. There's no more. This worry. I don't. That it?
Yeah.
feeling worried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them. I can't find it. So guys, if you're watching this and he had asked to, drop your baggage, do it. Yeah, do it.
Got you, man. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Make sure you get all that students. Make sure your classroom is like dropping in baggage so we can get good soldiers to help us in this fight to make our communities and our island and the whole world a better place so that I believe we're all born perfect, and what we deal with in our lives is created everything like who we are, and that's why I believe it the most. I believe what we did works because we are all born perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Amen.
I get
Hey,
I
I got you, bro.
I surrender.
Tapping out over here. Okay. Hey, thank you so much, Augie, for coming on to the podcast, man. I appreciate you allowing me to be a blessing tonight. Real talk.
Man. No, thank you. And whatever I can do, to help. Like I say, guys, if you experience what I just experienced, tell your friends, let them know. Let them know that, there's real, genuine, good people that are here to do great things.
Amen.
Awesome things. So, man, I appreciate you.
Amen.
You gifting me this tonight and letting me sleep good tonight.
Of course. And thank you all so much out there for your attention and your love and support. I truly love each and every one of you all out there. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. If you're on a podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and some feedback. And Augie, I love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
Hey, and you guys out there, love y'all. Take care of yourself.
When I'm on Kauai, we hanging.
Hey, for real, let's go. Dude, I'm taking you out to dinner.
I'm coming in early just so that we can hang and just hang out.
Yeah.
And we'll go hang out with Dr. Ken or whatever. And we'll just hang out, man. Thank you.
Let's get it. Hey, we're wrapping this up. Take care of yourself, guys, and take care of one another. Peace.